Let's do a recap on VASYs and HASYs, vertical asymptotes and horizontal asymptotes. We won't talk about slant asymptotes in this video. Let's just talk first of all about vertical asymptotes. Vertical asymptotes always have to do with when we're talking about rational equations. There's other kind of vertical asymptotes, but when we're talking about rational equations, vertical asymptotes always have to do with where the denominator equals 0. So the vertical asymptote, the VASY, for f of x is going to be x equals 2. And that's a vertical line at x equals 2. That's your vertical asymptote for that particular group, for f of x. So the vertical asymptote is always where the denominator equals 0. So for this one, the vertical asymptote is going to be x equals negative 1/2. That's the VASY. And for h of x, the vertical asymptote is going to be x equals 2. Notice it doesn't matter that there's 3 of those. This is like x minus 2 times x minus 2 times x minus 2. It doesn't matter. There's only one vertical asymptote for that, and that is the same as this orange one up here. It's just x equals 2. Alright, so that's vertical asymptotes. Now let's talk about horizontal asymptotes. HASYs, or horizontal asymptotes, have to do with where the degree, this has to do with the degree of the top and bottom. So if the degree of the top, let's call that m, and let's call the degree of the bottom n. If m, the degree of the top, is equal to n, then the HASY is m over n. It's y equals m over n. So for instance, on this green one, the HASY is going to be, I spelled HASY wrong, the horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 3/2, because the degree of the top and bottom are both 1. So the horizontal asymptote is y equals 3/2. If m is less than n, meaning the degree of the top is less than the degree of the bottom, then the HASY is automatically just y equals 0. So for this one right here, the HASY is y equals 0. Same with this one. The degree of the top is less than the degree of the bottom, so the HASY is also y equals 0 for that one. So that's how you find horizontal and vertical asymptotes. Oh, one last thing. If the degree of the top is greater than the degree of the bottom, that's when you don't have a horizontal asymptote, but you might have a slant asymptote. And we'll talk about that in a different video. But that's a quick recap of horizontal and vertical asymptotes, and watch the other videos and you'll see lots of good examples.